My people, this is crazy. You know we gotta talk, okay? We've got to talk. Ibrahim Traore is going to ban second-hand clothes. These are information we got right now. It is very interesting. Second-hand clothes, you're probably asking yourself, second-hand clothes? Yes. Many African countries still have second-hand clothes coming from the United States of America and Europe. And Ibrahim Traore, this very great African leader, yes, he's very great. He is. He's about to ban second-hand clothes. No more second clothes in Burkina Faso. Congratulations. We're gonna clap them hands. I'm gonna clap them hands, and I know you're gonna do the same. I appreciate you. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are very much appreciated. And this is our home, fellas. This is our home. This is where we talk about Africa. We talk about the motherland. You want to get any news about any country in Africa? You're at the right place. You know, you want to know about Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, you're at the right place. Today, it's not going to be different because sometimes we do bash each other, right? Sometimes we say things that are very harsh to one another, but it's family. We understand that. There is no venom behind it. It's all about the good. We're all trying to find solutions. We're trying to progress and move forward. And sometimes, like in a family, when somebody doing something wrong, you can beat him up. I remember I was still a child. Well, maybe not a child, maybe a teenager. Is a teenager a child? Not really, okay? I was disrespectful to one of my older sister. I came from work. Sorry, not work. No. I came from school, coming back home very hungry. And I was hungry. I looked at my sister and I was like, where's food? You in this house, there's never food when people come back from, we used to come back from school at around 2 p.m. You know, and I was like, where's the food? I was about like, I was a teenager. My sister looked at me. She was doing fish. You know, in some African countries, you make fish, like raw fish. You don't buy it from the shop already made. It's not very clean, okay? It doesn't smell good. She was working on fish. She came to me like, who are you talking to like this? Did you leave a domestic worker here to work for you? I'm like, we going to school, we come with no food. She just held me here and put her hand in my face like this with the fish in her hand. Jeez, I was upset and I was looking at her, I was staring at her like I'm gonna do something. Now, this is my older sister. I have brothers too. My brothers are younger than this sister. My brother, they came for me. They picked me up. They say, you are disrespecting our older sister. So they couldn't beat me in the house because my parents were very protective over me, you know, being, So they couldn't do that. They took me out of the house. They picked me up. My brothers picked me up, took me to the corner. That's where they beat me up to discipline me. Do not disrespect our older sister anymore. That's how we proceed in some areas in Africa. Anyway, let's get back on track. Burkina Faso is basically banning second-hand clothes. I know a lot of Africans who have experienced second-hand clothes have bought a lot of them. Like some of them will even lie to you, like this one came from Europe. Yeah, it came from Europe, just not the way you think it came from Europe. It was sent by NGOs. So what happens normally is NGOs go to houses, asking for clothes. Like, do you have any clothes that you want to send to poor people in Africa? Because they estimate that Africans are poor. You see that picture of that little boy with a big stomach and flies flying around his face, suffering and wars and stuff. Yeah, that's the image many people, unfortunately, in the West have of Africa. So when they think of Africa, they think there's no water, there's no electricity, there's wars, everybody's got HIV and stuff like that. So they feel like, okay, let's help these poor Africans. Let's send them clothes so they can dress up and not be naked and stop wearing those leaves and stuff from the trees. I mean, a lot of Africans wear leaves still today, but like I got my leaves I wear from time to time. Just today, some of the time when I have to be on camera, I have to be so I can look good. Anyway, now these clothes come into Africa through NGOs. However, NGOs don't distribute the clothes to people for free. These supposedly NGOs that you hear about come and sell these clothes in Africa at a very competitive price. This is not even cheap to say, okay, we're helping Africans. Absolutely not. Now, many African countries have come together and say, you know what? We don't want this anymore. We don't want second-hand clothes because of hygienic reasons. I mean, somebody can just shit in his pants and say, hey, Annabelle, take my shitty pants and put it in the basket so the NGO can take to some kid in Africa. This kid in Africa is suffering. You know what I mean? No, we don't suffer like that, my brother. I respect you trying to be nice, but no, not like that. So unfortunately, clothes come sometimes with shit inside. I'm just being honest with you. I've bought second-hand clothes, so I know. A lot of you guys have bought even underwear second. I've bought underwear second. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not going to front. You know me. I'm for real as it gets. But I was young, I didn't know. That's all I knew. You want some quality clothes? You got to go to the market when they're selling secondhand clothes. You buy. Like some of my people, my friends, when we were becoming adolescents, we wanted to buy nice quality stuff. So we bought secondhand stuff, even secondhand underpants, boxes that some dude somewhere in America sent to Africa because it looks good. When you want to be next to your girlfriend, you want to look good. You don't want to wear Chinese underwear. They don't look good. I'm sorry. Now, African nations say they don't want this anymore. Why? There's a fly in the house. Flies are everywhere, not just in Africa, right? Anyway, and when there's flies, it means there's life. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. African nations have come together in many places saying we don't want this anymore. Okay. I'll give you an example. The East African community, which is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and some other countries, all these countries here, have imported about $1.50 million worth of used clothes in 2015 only. That's the importation. That's not the price the people have paid. Now, these African countries came to a moment, they say, you know what? We actually want to develop our own textile companies, our textile industry. We want Africans to invest into textile so they can sell to the Africans, so we can be independent. You know what happened? Do you know what happened? Can you guess? They were threatened by America. Big brother America. You do not do that. If you do that, you ban our secondhand clothes that come through NGOs to help you. We are going to kick you away from AGOA. What is AGOA? AGOA is the African Growth Opportunity Act, which is an opportunity that gives many African nations an opportunity to go sell their stuff, whatever export they have. Let's say your country sells a lot of potatoes or tomatoes. You can send them to America and be sold at a very cheap price. That's AGOA for you. Now, AGOA is supposed to be there to help African nations. However, they say, we are also helping you by bringing you second-hand clothes by force because you're not authorized to say no to the help we're bringing you. Because, oh, by the way, you still have to pay for the second-hand clothes. They're not for free. Now, if you choose not to let our second-hand clothes in your continent or your country, you're going to suffer. So the East African nation, East African community, even though they sat together to have a discussion about this, and they decided to, influence the local textile companies to grow and be bigger, unfortunately could not do it. Why? Because they were afraid. They weighed the possibility, the pros and the cons. They just saw that, you know what, you don't want to be a bad friend of America. Okay, so let's just drop it. Okay, why are we trying to help our own people? No, it's fine. They can wait for another century. For now, we want to stay president because let me put it this way for you. Maybe you don't know it. If America doesn't like you, the chances of you staying in power are very minuscule. I'm sorry. That's the reality of the world. Now, there's only one country that resisted, Rwanda. They continued. Okay, Rwanda said, we are not...
Africa does not need to be a dumping ground for second-hand anything.
We are not bending over. We are not bending over to you. Sorry. We're going to ban second-hand clothes. Now, a lot of clothes coming from America used to go to Rwanda. Rwanda has banned it. What is occurred next? So in 2015, the East African community initiated a phased ban on second-hand clothing imports to bolster local textile and leather industry. Rwanda in particular has maintained a strict measure to promote domestic production. Now, there has been positive and negative. We're going to go through it very quickly. In Rwanda, okay? In Rwanda particularly, Rwanda has a significant economic, social, and environmental repercussion. Rwanda's government implemented a ban in 2019 as part of a broader effort to boost local textile industry and reduce dependency on imported goods. The positive impact. So people that are sewing and creating designs of local Africans are doing good. They get a market, a free market for them. The growth that is clear. So the government creates employment, by fostering local textile production from cotton farming and many other things. So many people are getting jobs because of local production. Okay, now the negative impact, okay. Many Rwandans rely on import and sale of second-hand clothes as a primary source of income. Because you sell second-hand clothes, you make some money to buy some bread. It's not a lot of money, but yeah. You see them in many African countries. They put second-hand clothes on the floor. They sell it's peanuts, but it's money for food. Now they can't do it anymore because it's not authorized. Thousands of small traders and wholesalers and street vendors who depended on selling second-hand clothes were negatively affected. So many people lost the revenue. So like the people at the lower level of the society could not afford these, this stuff, because to create textile industry in a country, you need goods, and these goods are not cheap. The production is high and the competition is difficult. Now, Rwanda is not the only country to do it. Zimbabwe has done it in the past. Okay, Zimbabwe banned second-hand clothes. But Zimbabwe, nobody care about Zimbabwe because America doesn't care about it. I'm sorry, not me. America don't care about Zimbabwe. Rwanda banned.
Rwanda, we have to grow our economies. We have to grow and establish our industries.
But they did not get sanctioned. Let me try and explain this. So there was a negotiation between Rwanda and the US government. They agreed to maintain Rwanda's eligibility in AGOA. However, it was clear that the situation was very sensitive. Rwanda faced significant pressure and reconsidered its policy to adjust it. I don't know what adjustment they made. They're not being very clear, but an adjustment was made. So they left a little pause for Rwanda for some reason. But any other country that dares to do that will be kicked out of AGOA. That's what it is. Okay? Now, Burkina Faso is pushing hard. As you know, this president is not joking. He's not there to have a second wife or a third wife or a fourth wife or a sixth wife or a seventh wife or a ninth wife. He's not there for that. He's a good-looking man. Look at him. He's strong. He's agile. He's 37 years old. He's still young. I'm sorry. A man only becomes a man really at 40. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. You triggered? Sorry. Women is at 20. At 20, you are at the prime. Everybody wants you and all that stuff. And man, it's 40. I'm sorry. We're very different. You may be triggered, but it's okay. It's fine. Let's continue. So, in Burkina Faso, there was a president before that. His name is Thomas Sankara. You heard of that man? Great man of Africa. Very similar level with Lumumba, Patrice. This is one of the men that fought very hard for African freedom and for his people. He was the first African president to say, actually, I don't want this salary. Can you reduce my salary? Okay, I want a small portion of it. Yes. I mean, everybody dreams of becoming president in Africa. You become a president or a friend of a president, like you become rich immediately. Because African nations are not run like European nations. It's like kingdoms. I'm just being honest with you. Except of maybe South Africa and most of the countries in Africa, once you're in power, my brother. Like, I can just say, okay, I want that car. It's mine. You see somebody's car, you just imported the car. It's yours now. That's it. There's nothing he can do about it. He can go to court. I'm just being, I'm going to put it as it is. Now, this man can do a lot of things. He's still young. He's not even 40 years old. But all he's doing is the people. Building tomato plants, building industry, building hospitals, building roads, getting equipment for the military, getting drones from Ethiopia, promoting unity among Africans. It's unbelievable. I don't think human beings are made of the same cloth. It's not possible. Before him was Thomas Sankara, who reduced his own salary. He reduced his own salary too. Guess what? Yes, Traoré reduced his salary. He said, I don't want you to pay me as a president. Please pay me as a soldier. That's all I want. I'm a captain. That's all I want. Now, he wants to stop the second-hand nonsense. Okay? As much as it is positive and negative. But look, I understand many people lose money and stuff in Rwanda and Zimbabwe and all these countries that move forward with this move.
It's hard to find second-hand clothes to spare. It's hard to make money. Before, with 5,000 francs, you could buy 15 items.
But I understand also that things are very expensive now, because the alternative is what? If you don't get second-hand clothes coming to the country, you are getting very cheap things coming from China. Cheap for China, but not too cheap for the people. In other words, they bring stuff from China. They're not high quality. If you bought Chinese stuff, if you bought Chinese clothes. I'm not talking about Chinese. If you go to China, you might find any sort of quality. In China, there's every quality. There's top A quality, top B and to F. There's all quality. But the quality they send to Africa is not the best quality. So in most cases, the clothes you may be getting from a second-hand shop will be much better quality from a Chinese stuff that you're getting. Now, the local Africans are struggling in the textile industry. Even Zimbabwe tells you they stopped accepting second-hand clothes for a long time. But up until now, the textile industry has struggled. They're struggling. It's very difficult. They can't pick up because producing locally costs a lot of money. And the government does not give them subsidies, like give them things so they can produce to promote. They're not doing that. I mean, they're left on their own. So it's very difficult. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. Do you feel like it's a level of disrespect to send to the African people these second-hand clothes? If they refuse, ban them. God bless.